Okay, Lord Alfred Tennyson, again, Morte Day author. Okay, Morte Day author is a wonderful work, which means the passing away of the author. A beautiful description of the last moments of author, and where the passing away of a particular hero and an age and an era is mourned. It's a beautiful elegy written by Lord Alfred Tennyson, the most patriotic poet in English literature. And next to Edmund Spenser. Even Edmund Spenser has his own personal motive, whereas you find Lord Alfred Tennyson, a high Victorian poet. In that context, let me ask you a question. Who is a high Victorian novelist who found the nature to be detrimental to human nature? A man who had a pessimistic view about nature. Because, okay, it's Hardy who felt that nature was working against a man. It was bringing about his fall. Okay, so Hardy is known for all his novels were put together. It was given a name. What was it called? Wessex novel. And a certain writer's novel is called Waverley novels. We have certain prose writers, William Caxton. In that context, there is a prose writer who celebrates William Caxton and invention of printing press in one of the essays. Have you come across that writer? One of the famous writers one of the famous prose writers in English literature, who wrote a collection of lectures where he celebrates the invention of printing press. I will give you a small clue. William Hazlitt, he wrote a series of lecture, compiled it, and in the 5th lecture, Hero as Man of Letters, where he celebrates 3 great men. One is Johnson, the other one is Burns, and the third one, who is that? Johnson, Burns, and one more. Okay, one more writer is celebrated in that particular work. He says all these people are great men, they were men of letters. Rousseau, very good. Okay, and then you have Thomas More. When we think about Thomas More, we need to think about the term utopia. Okay, the concept of utopia was introduced to English world by the man Thomas More. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And the work Utopia was originally written in
Latin.
Which language? Latin, and then it was translated to English in which year? Okay, and who translated it? I think it's by Ralph Robinson, the writer. And then we come to the English drama during this age. We have something called mystery play, miracle play, which actually was a French import. The origin of mystery play, miracle play was there in the French world. It was in the form of liturgical play. The first actors were the churchmen, and then you have the trade guilds. It was taken over. What is the difference between mystery play and miracle play? Mystery play, miracle play. What is the difference? Okay, miracle play deals with lives of saints, and mystery play deals with the Bible narratives, beginning from the creation till the revelation. Important passages were taken and they were enacted. Okay, thank you. And then we have an extension of that is morality play, where play started becoming secular. Prior to that, the main purpose of the play was to teach religion, to teach religious concepts to people. And so churchmen were using it. So within the church it was conducted, then it came outside the church, and then it moved out of the church. It went into the hands of professional actors called trade guilds. They were called guilds. They were merchant class people who took over acting. They became professionals. Okay, around some 12 to 15 people came together, and they were enacting certain cycles. And then you have a new version of it called morality play. Can you name me a most important morality play? Morality play, every man, deals with the theme of salvation of every man. Every man, who is the hero? Each of us is the character there. The man who enjoys life, not caring about the salvation of the soul. So there is a character, there are several characters to whom he seeks for help when God sends his messenger called Death. Death is sent as a messenger to man, asking the man to come for a reckoning, which means he has to die and go and stand before God and give an account of his life. He goes to several people and everybody deserts him, and there are only a few characters who come to help him. The only character who travels with him beyond death till he reaches heaven is good deed. That was the answer for the question which appeared in the last NET exam. Okay, even knowledge travels with him because good deed is almost lame. It's a female character because he never cared to do any good deed. It was stampled upon. So she was completely broken and she has to become bit strong. So she recommends going to knowledge, and knowledge recommends that this man goes to a confessor and confesses its sin, and then he undergoes the process of 7 sacraments, and then he becomes strong, and good deeds also become strong, and good deed goes to the grave and beyond the grave. Knowledge stays with the grave. It doesn't go beyond the grave. Your knowledge will come up to you till you go to the grave, and beyond that you have to go alone with your good deeds and give an account to God. And because of the good deed, every man is given a place in heaven. That is how the work goes. Then coming to morality play. What is morality play? A play wherein secular virtues and vices became characters. Do you remember a novel which has elements of morality play? It's not a novel, it's an Pilgrim's Progress. Don't call it a novel. It is only a prose work, an allegorical prose piece written by John Bunyan, a Puritan writer. This Puritan writer, Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. Okay, then coming to Elizabethan age, you have all these prose writers. I have put them in chronological order. Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey. What are the things that are associated with Thomas Wyatt and Earl of Surrey? They are the ones who introduced the sonnet to English literature. And who is the one who is the originator of sonnet? Petrarch. Okay, Petrarch wrote love sonnets to his ideal woman. Who is that? This is how questions will be asked. Sonnets written, the main theme of sonnet is love and conflict. Particularly, it comes under a lyric. It comes under a lyric category. Sonnet is a lyric poem. Basic, the umbrella term is lyric. Under that, you have sonnet, 14-line poem. It's an Italian origin, and it means a small strain in Italian. It's a love poem. And he wrote a sonnet sequence and dedicated to his ideal woman called Lara. Do you remember any sonnet sequence in English literature? 88 sonnets plus a few songs. How many songs? You find it out from the original text. Where will you find all these original texts? You need not worry. Go to Google Books. Okay, go to the original text and look into the content page and get all the key details. Don't believe in Wikipedia. Wikipedia is open source. It can be edited. Okay, or you can go and get information from encyclopedia. A Britannica encyclopedia is a source. Now coming to Wyatt and Surrey, they are also known for one more thing. What is that? They were the sonnet. Then they also introduced something else into English literature. The remember blank verse was introduced into English literature by Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey. And who was the man who was called the master of English, blank verse? Christopher Marlowe, who commented that it is a mighty verse of Marlowe. The writings of Marlowe is called as mighty verse of Marlowe. Somebody commented on it. Is it Ben Jonson? Who commented on the writing style of Christopher Marlowe as mighty verse of Marlowe, if I am not mistaken. Then come to John Donne. What should we remember regarding John Donne? He's a metaphysical poet. Okay, so think in terms of metaphysical poet and other metaphysical poets. I have another presentation. I have shared the link in your chat box. You can take the link, copy it, and use that particular PPT which is there in Google Slides. And then we come to university wit, and you have all the university wits in an order. And remember, Christopher Marlowe was a contemporary of William Shakespeare. Yeah, and he became one of the sources for William Shakespeare. And Shakespeare was criticized by one of the university wit. Who was the one who criticized William Shakespeare? Yeah, Robert Greene. Robert Greene.
Abstract crow.
Very good, very good. And he called him as an abstract crow who was colored by our feathers. And he also used the term shake sheen. Shake scene. He commented William Shakespeare as a scene creator who believed that he can shake the whole sphere by his writings, but he is not worth the salt. He said he is only a copycat. He copied us and he believed that he knows everything. And he criticized him very badly. And what is the work in which Robert Greene criticized? That may be a question. So look into all those things, and when it comes to university wit, look into the individual writer and the specialization of the individual writer. John Lilly is known for a particular type of play. What type of play did he originate? He has a very famous work, The Unfortunate Traveler, which kick-started a kind of writing. What is it called? It's romantic comedy. Again, a little more than that. Lilly is known for his lucid prose style. And Shakespeare borrowed his prose style from Lilly.
Euphemism.
And Thomas Kidd. Thomas Kidd? What is Thomas Kidd known for? Spanish tragedy, revenge tragedy. A man who introduced the Senecan revenge tragedy into English literature. Okay, Senecan revenge tragedy into English literature, and based on that, William Shakespeare wrote a revenge tragedy. Hamlet. What was that? Hamlet is a revenge tragedy. Okay, let me ask. Let me be able to guide you. But let me give you a bird's eye view of all the poets down the ages. Okay, we come to Milton, and when we think about Milton, we need to remember some of the important words. A very famous sonnet which is often asked in competitive exam. What is that? It's called On His Blindness.
Sonnet.
Am I right? A sonnet title, On His Blindness, which speaks, which autobiographical sonnet. And then he is remembered for his epics, Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. And when you are thinking about Paradise Lost, you need to remember what is the aim of Paradise Lost. What is the opening line of Paradise Lost? What is the aim of Paradise Lost? He is a Puritan. He wrote with the aim to justify the ways of God to men. He wants to justify the ways of God to men. And what is the opening line? Of man's first disobedience and the fall. Of man's first disobedience and the fall. That is the opening line. And then we need to know about the publication details. Make a note of it. Okay, initially when John Milton brought out a publication, it contained only 10 books. And then he felt that this particular epic did not become a classic because it has to be written in 12 books. So he added 2 more and brought out another publication. So what was the date? What was the date of the first publication? What was the year in which the second publication was brought? 10 book publication in which year and 12 book publication in which year? This will be normally asked. Similarly, when you think about Biographia Literaria, they'll be asking about the 4 publications of Biographia Literaria. Okay, and then regarding William Shakespeare's masterpiece, there is a work, right? Lyrical Ballad. Lyrical Ballad has 4 different publications. Okay, 4 different publications. 1978, what is the speciality of 1978 publication? 1800, what is the speciality? Because that the preface was attached to the second publication. And then in 1802, there was a publication, and in 1804, there was a publication, and beyond that, there was a publication. So, you need to know with which year what was added. That is how you need to prepare, and that is how questions are asked. Now, when we come to John Milton is celebrated for his grand style. But the concept grand style is often attributed to The grand style is often always associated with the name Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was the one who popularized the term grand style. But grand style was already found in John Milton. When you think about a literary critic who was speaking about grand style, it was Longinus. You know Longinus of the 1st century? He wrote a very famous essay of the sublime. Okay. In that particular essay, he speaks about how a work will become a sublime work. It has to touch that sublime level. Okay, that is the thing. Now we move a little further. When we think about Milton, contemporaries of Milton, you have metaphysical poets. George Herbert, okay, a religious poet, okay, a disciple of John Milton. Then you have Richard Crawshaw, a man who was very much celebrated by, Dr. Samuel Johnson, and then Abraham Cavally. Abraham Cavally is given first preference in lives of eminent English poets. A short he embarked to write the biography of 52 writers, but ended up with 60 writers, where he celebrates Cavally and where he first speaks about metaphysical poets. But the term metaphysical poet was already used by a Scottish writer called William Drummond of Hampton. Okay. William Drummond, it is there in net question paper. How is William Drummond of Hampton, how is he connected to metaphysical school? That was the question. Okay. And now the answer is, this man, a Scottish writer, while making a study about the English writers, he was telling there is a new trend of English poetry, where there are a few poets who are moving towards the metaphysical realm. He used the word metaphysical realm, and then Dr. Samuel Johnson commented about John Donne's writing, calling it as metaphysical, but the term metaphysical poets was used by John Dryden. Did you get all these terms? And then Abraham Cavally, while speaking about Abraham Cavally, he speaks about metaphysical poetry. And then you have a very important writer, Andrew Marvell, who wrote, he was the secretary to John Milton. He was assisting John Milton in writing Paradise Lost, and there are critics who say that the metaphysical touch in Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained is because of Andrew Marvell. Okay, and then we have Cavalier poets. What is the difference between metaphysical poets and Cavalier poets? Cavalier poets are court poets. They were writing about the theme of love. Metaphysical poets, they were writing about metaphysical elements. They were known for their metaphysical conceits, far-fetched comparisons, philosophical poems, okay, striking imagery, a philosophical abrupt beginning. You have a very famous poem by John Donne, often finding its place in UG syllabi or PG syllabi. It's called Canonization. And then death be not be proud. Death be not proud. Taken from the Bible. And you find many writers borrowing from John Donne the title for their works. You can search for such writers and prepare yourself for the exam.